What's up, guys? Taylor Chamberlain here, and I could not be more excited to be talking to you about the Garmin Xero Crossbow Scope. This is absolutely revolutionary, just amazing piece of technology, hands down the coolest piece of gear that I have ever personally gotten to play with, to go hunt with, to test out, and just put through the paces. So I wanted to take some time to sit here and talk to you guys about a lot of the technology that I found super helpful within this scope, and also tell you how I set it up, what I'm using, and what now I know I can't live without that I didn't know I needed before. So I really wanted to take some time to walk you guys through the items that I found to be just really cool in this, and how I set them up. So let's get into it. You know, the fact that Garmin is able to utilize all the technology that they have at their fingertips and stuff this crossbow scope full of sensors and different things is really cool. It has 3.5 power magnification to it, which to me is the perfect amount of magnification in a crossbow scope. It's not too much. It's not affecting me at short yardages. I'm still able to pick a hair and get really focused and dialed in, but on some of those longer distances, I really find it helpful to have a little bit of magnification and see out there. So I really found the 3.5 magnification to be just really ideal for me. And then all of the data that you're able to get about the shot and in real time what's going on with your shot, to me was just super cool. I literally felt like the Terminator looking through this thing, or felt like I was in an F-16 at Top Gun, kind of tracking other airplanes, because the ability for the crossbow scope to be telling you in real time how steady your aim is, or if the bow is slightly canted one way or another, or just keeping track of how many shots are on the string. Little things like that to me ended up being really big things. So let's talk about all the different data, all the different sensors, all the different stuff that this scope is doing, and how I found it helpful, and then how I had it set up. And the fact that you can turn these sensors on and off and create a completely customizable experience is something else that I thought was really cool. So for me, I'm the kind of guy that wants tons of data, but I don't like clutter. And so I'm able to turn items on or off, or pick and choose how I want that data represented to me without having to look through something that had a ton of clutter. I think that's really cool. And I think that everybody out there is going to really like the fact that you can completely customize this scope for however you want it to be. You pick and choose the colors. You can pick and choose exactly what it's telling you. You can pick and choose what your aim point looks like. Literally, you're able to pick and choose every single thing on here and how you want it to look, how bright you want it to be. That to me is so cool, because what's perfect for me might not be perfect for you. But the fact that everybody out there is able to customize this to make it the perfect scope for them is truly revolutionary and awesome. So the first thing that you're going to notice when you look through this is the steady aim. The steady aim is really what I think made me feel like I was in an F-16 fighter jet at Top Gun, because it's a circle that gets bigger or smaller depending on how steady you are. So if you're in the tree and I'm in my saddle and I have the buck of a lifetime behind me and I'm like swinging my arm all around and I'm all nervous and shaking, the steady aim is going to be nice and big. It's going to be giant, because what it's telling me is, hey dude, you are not steady. The bow's all over the place right now. And then as you get calmer, as you get more steady, maybe you're able to brace your arm, whatever it might be that causes you to get steadier, that steady aim will now shrink, and then all of a sudden it'll just disappear into your aim point. And that to me is super cool, because I'm able to still look through the scope, I'm still able to aim, and I'm able to peripherally see that I'm really not being steady, or that I need to wait a little bit before I take my shot. I found that to be just one of the absolute coolest features, and have it slowly disappear now that I was calm and comfortable down to a certain point. But overall, I thought the steady aim was just the coolest thing in the world. I love that I'm able to still see my aim point, but peripherally see how steady I'm being, and really give me extra confidence in taking the shot, or knowing that, hey, you're good to go, you have a good brace, let's take the shot. Something else that I was using in tandem with the steady aim was the aim point level. So the aim point level are two wings that appear on either side of the aim point. If you have the steady point aim on, then they might be inside the dinner plate or outside them, but they're going to be wings that are showing you how level the bow is. And this is really important for me because I'm able to see how steady I am by using the steady point aim, and then now I'm able to see that the bow is completely level and I'm ready to take the shot, or I'm able to make slight adjustments to the bow in order to get it level. And I found myself using both the steady point aim and the aim point level together without even thinking about it. When I'm looking through the scope at an animal, I'm looking at my aim point. I've ranged it, I'm waiting for the time to take the shot. But I found myself using my peripheral vision, or kind of peripherally paying attention to the steady aim and the aim point level, and even making adjustments while still looking at my target and looking at my aim point. I was still making adjustments to cant the bow properly and get everything set up, get nice and steady, and take the shot. For me, the aim point level and the steady aim were just absolutely working in tandem together, and made me a better shot, a better hunter, way more efficient, and just overall amazing. I cannot speak highly enough about how awesome these are. Now, if you find those little wings distracting, you're able to turn on a level gauge on the side of the scope, kind of off in the corner with some other data there, that'll tell you again in red or green if the bow is canted or not. And you know, that might be helpful for some people, but personally, I found it way more helpful to have those wings on there to where I was able to make adjustments. But again, the fact that Garmin is making all these different options and having it be completely customizable is one of the many cool things about this scope. The fact that you're able to turn things on and off and make it your own is really cool. Another piece of data that I found really helpful was the roll at shot. So after the shot, the scope will keep track of a bunch of data, and one of those things is the roll at shot. And that tells you at the shot, the second that that string went down the bow, was the bow level or was it canted to the side? And that is really helpful if, you know, maybe you're shooting practice shots at 40 yards and you go, man, my bolt's hitting left, I think I need to make an adjustment. Well, wait, you can check that roll at shot and see that maybe you're actually canting the bow a little bit, you need to get a better brace height in there. Or maybe you're out hunting and you hit an animal a little to the left or right. You're able to look at the roll at shot and go, okay, I had that off. I had the bow canted slightly. I didn't make the shot that I wanted to. I know I can wait a little bit before I start tracking that animal, so you don't bump them. So the roll at shot, again, something that is super helpful to have. It's really nice to be able to see that data there, to know exactly what happened at the shot. Or maybe the bow was perfectly straight and you're still hitting left while you're practicing. You know that you need to make a couple changes to the windage on the integrated base. Either way, it's super cool to be able to have that data there for you to reference and look at, and just help you put together more pieces of the puzzle as to what's happening or why a bolt's hitting somewhere, or just for your knowledge. To be able to have it there, I found that to be super helpful. Also, another piece of data that this collects is the shot counter. So the scope is going to keep track of every single time you take a shot. And I really like that because for me, that's like an odometer on my car. I'm able to keep track of how many shots I have on a string, how many shots I have on a rail between maybe putting some lube down, doing preventative maintenance, or whatever. I just really like knowing how many shots I have on the bow and what needs to be done. And you know, a lot of crossbow manufacturers out there now will put in their maintenance every 5 shots you need to lube the rail, or every 100 shots you need to replace the string, whatever it might be. It's really nice to know without a doubt exactly how many miles are on that bow, if you will, or how many shots you have on it, and know where you fall within those maintenance guidelines. So super cool to keep track of that as well. And again, just another piece of data that this scope will keep that will help you out and make you a better hunter, or allow you to do preventative maintenance. Like, let's say you're going on a giant trip to Kansas, you're gonna go hunt a buck of a lifetime, you've saved up a ton of money, and you look at your shot counter and you realize, oh man, I need to put a new string on my crossbow. I mean, why wouldn't you want to do that ahead of time instead of maybe running the risk of going on the hunt of a lifetime that you've saved up all this money for and have an issue at camp as soon as you get there where, you know, your crossbow string blows up when you cock it the first night in the stand. It's really, really helpful to have all that data that this thing stores and use it to your advantage. And in that same vein of data that the scope keeps is the impulse duration. And I find the impulse duration really, really helpful to know because I'm a nerd and I really like playing with different bolt combinations. I want to see what the heaviest bolt is that I can shoot in order to minimize noise while still keeping the lightest bolt possible for speed. So finding that really happy middle ground between quiet and speed is helpful, and the impulse duration for me really helps me figure that out, because as we all know, vibration is noise, and so the less vibration the better. And just the fact that I'm able to see how much the bow vibrated after the shot and know, hey, maybe I need to check this thing over because it's really getting a ton of vibration right now. Maybe a screw's loose. Maybe I need to go with a heavier bolt, you know, or hey, this thing's not vibrating at all at the shot. Maybe I need to lighten up my bolt some and see how much more I can get away with. Either way, it's really cool to know how much vibration is happening on the bow and either try to minimize it or just be mindful of it. All right, and lastly, but certainly not least, one of the coolest features on this is the fact that this scope has an ambient light sensor in it. How many times have you been out hunting, it's early morning, you got the buck that you're looking for right in front of you and you can't see your pins? This scope has an ambient light sensor built in. So to me, I thought that was really, really, really helpful, because in the middle of the day, it'll make it super bright and I can see through and still be fine. In lower light situations, it'll dim it down to where I'm not getting like blown out in the eyes. So the ambient light sensor is just really, really another nice feature to have on this scope, and one of the multitude of things that elevates the bar as high as this does in the crossbow scope realm. I mean, it's just, there are so many features and sensors and data points and just the overall ease of use and everything that goes into this scope that makes it as revolutionary and amazing as it is. And to that same point, I know we touched on this earlier, but the fact that you can customize this to exactly how you want. You can turn those data points on, you can turn them off, you can choose the brightness, you can choose your aim point, you can choose everything. And the scope will literally walk you through the process of exactly what you want to do and make it as customized and as perfect as possible is so, so cool. It will allow everyone to make it the perfect scope for them, and you don't have to have anything on that you don't want. You can have it as bright as you want, as dim as you want, as whatever color you want, whatever fixed pins you want. I mean, literally everything, and it'll walk you through. It's so intuitive to use. It just makes it awesome. So hopefully you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, leave some comments below. Check out the other videos in this series to learn more about all the features and cool stuff that is packed inside this scope and how I like to set it up.